Hey, Bodacious Beast, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scottyallenday. I discuss topics about the past, present, future, and unknown. Well, I'm still on my big old charter bus, which is pretty much going to be my background until maybe I get established someday, if I ever get established. But I'm going to try anyways, just because I'm bored and I need some constructive, not destructive, to do. Besides walking, and well, if I'm on this bus, I'll be sleeping. So today I'm going to talk about something that is very common in a lot of companies, and a type of discrimination that is very difficult to, let's say, legally challenge. Now, I have faced this type of discrimination ever since I was a teenager. So I know for a fact that it exists, and that's being hard of hearing or hearing impaired. So this is an adult, a child, a teenager, a senior citizen that wears hearing aids. It'd be much different when I'm about 60 and I wear hearing aids. Well, they're going to expect that, because most people start getting older. They know that they start having hearing problems. So it's really easy because, you know, a lot of TV shows and a lot of sitcoms and a lot of cartoons have always been, I can't hear you, Sonny. So that turns around and creates a stereotype that kind of helps them in a way, but in my state, it never helps. Now, there's two different types of hearing loss. The number one type of hearing loss is, well, age, or if you put in a pair of Bose headphones and hooked it up to an amplifier and cranked up the volume and blew your eardrums out. It's one type. The other type is, well, it's old age. It's fine. You spent your whole life put hearing aids in, you learn how to hear, but you already know the discipline between the number one thing that goes with hearing is also speech. So, because you have to start listening to yourself talk, but you already know, because you can feel your vibrations within your throat, you can feel your vibrations within your voice, and you know what your vocal tones and vocal volumes are. The second one is death by birth. So, my hearing loss was caused by Agent Orange in Vietnam. My dad was sprayed with Agent Orange. It went into his DNA, and it affected me, and I was born with a hearing loss. My type of hearing loss is rare. It's like your third bone that's inside of your ear canal. Mine is stuck like inside of my spinal cord or something like that, and doesn't create the vibration that it's supposed to create. Which, in fact, kind of scares me, because eventually my hearing is going to drop. And because when my hearing drops, I'm not going to have a career. I can no longer drive one of these. I am like 10%, and I'll be done. I will never be able to drive a bus again. I'll never be able to drive a commercial vehicle again. This is my livelihood. This is my career. I don't know if my hearing's going to go next year, next month, but I need to be ready. And I don't even know where to turn. I mean, I spent 17 years behind the road, and I've been on the road, and another 7 years when I was working at the airport and back in Boston. I was driving in the airport in Boston when 9/11 happened. For those of you that know what 9/11 is. So again, let's go back to what I was talking about, the second type. The second type is deaf by birth. Now, when you're deaf by birth, and you remain deaf, then it's easier to comprehend, because then you start incorporating sign language and speech. But the person that has been born deaf no longer won't have the functions for speech until a much later date, or depending on how hard the parents work with them. So they're not going to have any speech discipline at all. They won't be able to have controls of the tones. They won't have controls of their vocal discipline, or how it comes out. That's the same thing that goes for somebody that is hard of hearing when they were born. When they were hard of hearing when they were born, until that hearing loss is detected, which mine wasn't detected until probably about when I was 2, almost 3 years old. And, well, if anybody is a parent that's out there in YouTube land, and you're a parent, when a child first goes into the arms of the parent, the first thing they hear is the coos, and they hear them talking, and they hear mom and dad talking about them and giggling and laughing, and the first stage is love. The first stage of when a child is born is love. There's no discipline. It's love, it's pleasure, it's pleasantry, it's welcoming. So that's the first stage of discipline when somebody is speaking. So now as they start getting older, and then they start talking, they start teaching, well, the voice is just a little bit more stern. Encouraging, but stern. So you're learning what a voice means in that second stage. So you have your voice of love, you have your voice of laughter, you discover musical voices, all within that first year. When you start learning how to eat, and they teach you different things like playing with the mobile, or reading you a story, or there's another tone of voice, and that's the tone of teaching. Now you have your third, just as you keep going, it's pretty much the way I see as speech development is comfort and compassion, laughter, education, and then the last part that goes in right in with the meaning terrible twos. Your child is more than likely up and walking and running around, knocking things over. You know, another big part of the development stage, and that's when most children hear the word "No, don't do that, stop." And there's your vocal discipline. So as you keep going, the soft and comforting of the voice to the more, what do you say, disciplined voice. No, the disciplined voice would go along with distress, and discipline. Discipline. That would be the third stage. I would just say just a regular teaching. I don't know what that second term would be, but if you know that word, what that word of that second term would be for somebody that is sitting there, I mean, I would say it's discipline, but there may be some other better technological term or definition that I should learn. I love to learn. I love to learn new meanings. I love to learn new words. So if you have that one word that I'm missing, drop it in the comment section below. I'd love to know it. When I come in and I finally start flowing better on YouTube, and I come back and I revisit this, because I really want to come back and revisit this. I want to come back and sit down and really research and do a deep dive. But the thing is well, I am deep diving because it's my life experiences. And the reason that I'm saying that those are the three crucial, and then after that, you know, it's easy to decipher. But because I missed those 2.5 years, and you put the hearing aids in, Well, you're already in all three of them and you're getting a jumble. You don't recognize what they mean through your development stage. So it makes it really difficult. And when I try to explain that to my employer of 17 years, they say, oh, just knock that off. It's an excuse. No, it's just a disability. It's an excuse. You know all about that. And I keep explaining to them. No, I don't. But if I went down to a lawyer and tried to talk about it, it's very difficult for them to be able to prove what is that type of discrimination. So, and that's what led to my ultimate quiet firing. Was I have no vocal discipline, had too many complaints because of vocal discipline. That was it. That was the end of me. But at least I made it 17 years. But eventually, my years are going to get weaker, and I'm not going to be able to drive one of these things. And I know it's coming. And because I lost that job at 17 years, they pretty much had a program that if I ended up losing that piece of hearing, I'd go on to total disability, and my life was set. My life was ready to. The rest of my life was relying on that. But since I lost it, I'm left in the dark. And I need to find something. Need to find something new. Need to find something that I can be compassionate about. And this is it. If I went and had a surgery on my ears right now, I'd have an 80% chance that I'd lose everything I got. I ain't gonna lose my hearing yet. I got too much rock and roll to listen to. So, I don't know if I'm going to be stuck in the dark. I don't know what my future is. I just hope I can be able to think of something before it's too late. Before I'm lost in the dark. But I had to say something. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. See you tomorrow.